Good morning, everyone! 今回は前回に引き続き、でる順パス単を全部読んでいきたいと思います。今回読み切れるかな？実際に読み始める前に、チャンネル登録と高評価よろしくお願いします。あとコメントがあるとすごく嬉しいので、コメントもよろしくお願いします。Impel. After listening to the lecture for 30 minutes, he felt impelled to interrupt and object. Lubricate. The door hinges were squeaking, so he lubricated them with some oil. Nibble. The two men nibbled at the peanuts as they drank, and soon the bowl was completely empty. Polarize. The country became polarized between supporters and opponents of the president. Pounds. When a student made a mistake, the teacher immediately pounced on it. Retaliate. After the attack on its force, the other side retaliated with a bombing campaign. Rumage. When she asked for glue, he rumaged about his drawer and produced some. Spreadhead. The rockstar spreadhead being built. Next is don't go. Okay, next is Typify. The experts say that the low voter turnout typified the public's lack on internet and politics. It can be dangerous to walk outside at night in the area because of the lions prowling for play. Next is test broccoli. His wife often served it. Next is Fagin. The students were bored by lecture, but some tried to feign interest. Fluctuate. An exchange rate between the yen and the dollar had fluctuated widely all year. Meddle. The man advised his wife not to meddle in her friend's marriage. Pamper. She pampered her pet cat with expensive food such as smoking salmon. Next is peruse. Over breakfast, her perused a copy of the local newspaper. Next is PQ. Her persistent complaints began to PQ many of her colleagues. Indoctrinate. The martial arts teacher indoctrinate his new student with basic fighting techniques. Okay, next is what is next? Orchestrate. The politician orchestrated a smear campaign against his rival. Next is fortify. Nowadays, it is customary for fortify milk with vitamin D. Okay, next is bolster. The government has recently taken steps to bolster market confidence. Okay, next. Hey, come on, treasure. Next is coerce. Through the man was reluctant to sign contract, he coerced into doing it. Next is exhort. The teacher exhorts the student to prepare for the final exam. Okay, next is dazzle. Dazzled by the man's charm, the woman eventually agreed to a date. Debunk. One effect of science has been to debunk many traditional beliefs. Surmise. I surmised that I could better by investing in real estate than stocks. Next is surmise. I surmised that I could do better by investing in real estate than in stocks. Okay, next is reiterate. The ambassador reiterated his nation's policy at the start of the meeting. Okay, next is diffuse. Nowadays, many police forces have experts who can diffuse bombs. Berate. He berated himself for having trusted a stranger with his money. Abscond. The bank manager absconded with the money after his theft was revealed. Broach. Many parents fix sex education and outward subject the brooch with their children. Bask. In the summer, seals could be seen basking on the rocks. Cute. Wrath. The boy could imagine his father wrath when he told him about the damage of the family car. Antiseptic. When she cut her finger, she immediately put antiseptic on it to stop it beginning infected. Attrition. The government waged a long war of attrition against the evil force. Slur. The television personalities say that the rumors about him were a slur on his good reputation. Strife. It was a period of great industrial strife, and strikes by workers were common all over the country. Next is suitor. Even the girl agreed to induce her suitor on her parents. Okay, next is versatility. The versatility of the new employee quickly made her indispensable to the company. Okay, next is interlude. During the interlude between the end of classes and the beginning of the exam, most students study hard. Okay, next is layman. Many legal terms are quite incomprehensible to even a well-educated layman. Okay, next is stampede. When a fire broke out of the sports stadium, it led to a stampede among the spectaculars. Next is repercussion. The repercussion on the debt crisis included a fall in stock price. Next is concession. However long we negotiate, our business partner refused to make any concessions. Okay, next is hindsight. In hindsight, the company realized that it could have prevented a great mistake. Next is felicity. Beneath the facade on domestic felicity, the marriage was in trouble. Oh. Creed. Although they follow different creeds, they still decide to marry. Okay, next is farce. The comedian first made his name in a theatrical fairs. Juncture. The upcoming election marks a critical juncture for the future of the country. Okay, next is gimmick. He dismissed the new policy as just a gimmick to attract voters. Caliber. There are not many lawyers of his caliber in the company. Okay, next is allegory. This painting has been interpreted as an allegory of life and death. Okay, next is accession. The singer's accession to the rank of superstar was unusually quick. Okay, next is bout. A bout of malaria generally leaves the victim much weakened. Okay, next is anemone. It has been hard to overcome the anemone between Israel and its Arab neighbors. Next, affront. The way he treated at a hotel was an affront to his dignity. barrage. The film star was faced with a barrage of questions about his upcoming divorce. Brunt. The capital city bore the brunt of the enemy bombing campaign. Next is audacious. The gang of thieves made an audacious attempt to rob the jewelry store in broad concerted. Thanks to the concerted efforts of the drama club, the performance was ready on time. Egregious. The judge said it was one of the most egregious. Next is eminent. Many eminent physicians. Next is transient. The transient nature of only in promotion. Next is adamant. Is abject. In his later years, the artist fell into abject poverty and died penniless. Led to a winning goal. Nice. Next was criticized for the arbitrary nature of his decisions. Begging. His intentions are always begging, though sometimes poorly communicated. Belatedly recognized as one of the greatest fighters of his generation. Cordially. The visitor found herself cordially welcomed by the whole family at the front of the door. Exponentially. The rabbit population increased exponentially until it seemed that there were rabbits everywhere. Oh my gosh. Next is figuratively. He lives, figuratively speaking, in a bubble, completely unaware of the world around him. Vehemently. The boy vehemently disliked his. Okay, it comes to the section 12. Look at this, it's so good. Only view. Oh, it's so fastly to. Maybe it can do today to complete. Okay, if I can complete in this time, please subscribe and push to the button of a good. Quell. He quelled his fear and dove into the river to rescue the boy. Quench. After hours in the hot sun, debase. The star debased his reputation by appearing in Sense of Cheap Sensational movie. Elude. Although I look everywhere for my student, she eluded me. Refute. The political finally success in refuting his enemies accusing the accusations. Rebut. The defense lawyer successfully rebutted all the prosecutor's claims. Lamb state. The newspaper additional Lamb state the government for their poor economic policies. Renege. Suddenly, the bank reneged on this promise of a loan. Thwart. The FBI managed to thwart a terrorist plan to attack government building. Dislodge. They found it difficult to dislodge the enemy from their mounting fort. Impossible. Dawdle. The principal scolded the student for dawdling in a school parking lot. Encrypt. The message was encrypted in a mysterious enemy code. Fetter. The new president soon found himself fettered by his campaign promises. Teeter. The country was teetering on the edge of a war with its neighbors. Concoct. He tried to concoct a good excuse for not having done his homework. Delve. I delved into that question for over a week, but never found an answer. Yeah, I think sometimes it's really hard to understand. Next is tarnish. The bribery accusation tarnished his reputation forever. I think it's not good. Spurn. She spurned the offer of a job at her company's chief rival. Next is improvise. Jazz musicians must improvise as they play their music. Mesmerize. Students were mesmerized by astonishing lectures. Redeem. In the past, American dollar could be redeemed for gold at certain banks. Nice. Congregate. Principals told the children to congregate in front of the school at 8 a.m. Censure. After he was publicly censured, the high-ranking government officials resigned from office. Okay, next is absolve. The official inquiry absolved him of any responsibility for the accident. Next is what is next? Knack. It took the little girl for a few days to get a knack to how to ride her bike. Jinx. The ship was rumored among sailors to have a jinx on it. Oh, I think it's not good too much. Next is omen. The signs of recent economic instability may be serious omens of the future. I think it's not good too much. Next is face it. The committee was asked to look at every facet of the problem. Next. Consort. His debate grew even greater. Nice. Quorum at all time. Yes, I think it's important. Fidelity. The assistant was known for his intense fidelity to his boss. Duplicity. When we could no longer tolerate her duplicity, we confronted. Indolence. The teacher felt irritated by the indolence of his students. Conveyance. Just restructure the company. Scrub. The man felt no scrupes about betraying his country. Eulogy. At a funeral, homage. Please pay him homage. Tens of thousands of citizens. Derision. Despite the derision of the critics, the movie was a big success. Nice. Fallacy. He said that the idea that price always indicates quality was a fallacy. Decree. The detector issued decree. Conflagration. Massive conflagration have nearly destroyed the city on several occasions. Next is a commotion going on in a neighboring classroom. Welcome back, treasure. Okay, I kept coming back. Yeah. Okay, wait a while. Yes, she's coming back. Okay. Next word is commotion. The teacher heard a commotion going on in a neighboring classroom. In America, it is very common at a soccer stadium that many wounded. Acquittal. New evidence led to the acquittal of all. Is meager. The young couple barely lived on their meager income. Impending. Whether for frugal. Despite years of frugal management, the company is still struggling. Ecstatic. When the president saw the the precarious. Peace in this country depends on a precarious balance of force and diplomacy. White House issued a succinct statement denying all aggregates. 高評価ありがとうございます。Erratic. Since his wife passed away, his habits have become quite erratic. Derogatory. I read an extremely derogatory column about the Prime Minister in a local paper. Destitute. After the volcanic eruption, many people found themselves destitute and homeless. So, unscathed. He seems unscathed by the many years fighting his chronic illness. Flagrant. Such flagrant disregards for international law will not be tolerant. Okay, next is pedantic. My classmates and I found the professor to be pedantic in her lectures. Perceptive. After the speech, there was a perceptive change in the audience attitude. Negligent. All thought he was not guilty for murder. His behavior was certainly negligent. Drab. The plain walls with green trim gave the room such a drab appearance. Imprudent. His imprudent criticism of his boss got him into trouble. Next is gaudy. The nightclub was full of young people wearing gaudy clothes. Hereditary. Scientists have learned that Alzheimer's disease is often hereditary. Laudable. The team made a laudable effort, but they could not win the match. Banal. His speech was well organized, but its content was rather banal. Archaic. Many countries around the world still have archaic laws that resist women's rights. Assiduous. She is the most assiduous and dedicated student in the class. Consummate. He was always being good, but now he has become sommelier violinist. Benevolently. The school was run benevolently by a gentle old lady. Come on, my cat is coming. Don't type. Okay, we got section 12. Yes, we did it. Okay,もしかしたら今回全部クリアできるかもしれないので、もしクリアできたら高評価とチャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。その前に水分補給。とじゃちゃん言っちゃいましたね。Okay, section 12. Rejuvenate. The new young CEO said about rejuvenating the old company. Okay, next is emigrate. As the economy worsened, many people emigrated to other countries. Redress. The victims demanded that their pain and suffering be redressed. Oh, no, punch! Don't go! No! My cat is really fast to go. Okay, next is drench. He caught a cold after becoming drenched in a sudden rainstorm. Yes, I think he should be more care to that. Next word is repel. In the tropics, we must use special ointments to repel disease-bearing insects. Next is jeer. The unruly soccer fans jeered at it with fury and threw bottles. If it were be a plastic bottle, it's good, but don't throw a glass bottle. Next is sneer. The scientists sneer at their colleague hypothesis on theoretical basis. Next is dispel. The riot police dispel the violent where is this? Okay, the riot police dispelled the violent protesters. Distend. The sight of the children, their stomach distend with hunger, moved the journalists to tears. Evict. It took over 6 months to evict them legally from their property. Deprecate. He deprecated his own work as something of little value. Nice. Next is deface. A gang of youth defaced the statue with spray paints. Emblazoned. The walls of the castle were emblazoned with bright banners. Incriminate. In American courts, suspects cannot be forced to incriminate themselves. Engulf. The typhoon totally engulfed that small fishing community. Oh, not good. Waver. No matter how much pressure he felt, he never wavered in his decisions. Next word is surmount. He had surmounted a number of legal problems before he could set up the new company. Mortify. The mother was sometimes mortified